There comes a moment in your life when the world stops asking if you're ready. It starts testing if you are. And that's the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who never do, because the truth is, life doesn't warn you before it hits you. It doesn't send a message before it tests your strength. One day you just wake up and you're thrown into the fire. No time to prepare, no time to plan, no time to think. And that's when it hits you. Whether you've been living ready or pretending to be. Most people wait for the perfect time to move, the perfect mood to act, the perfect situation to begin. But perfection is just procrastination wearing a mask. You don't get ready when things happen. You stay ready so when they do, you rise without hesitation. You see, the ones who win in life aren't the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who stay prepared when nobody believed, when nobody clapped, when nobody was watching. They trained while others slept. They studied while others scrolled. They planned while others complained. They didn't wait for the opportunity to show up. They became so consistent, so disciplined, that when it finally came, it felt like destiny. That's the mindset of the unstoppable. They don't chase the moment. They live in a state of constant readiness. Because if you have to get ready when life calls your name, you're already too late. You ever notice how people pray for big opportunities, but never prepare for the responsibility that comes with them? They say they want success, but their habits scream comfort. They say they're ready for change, but they still live like yesterday owns them. You can't talk readiness. You live it, breathe it, and become it. The moment you decide that every single day is a chance to sharpen yourself, to evolve, to train your mind and your craft, that's the day you step out of the crowd and into the arena. That's when you stop surviving and start dominating. So as you listen to this, understand, you're being called to shift your mindset. Stop waiting for the alarm to ring before you wake up to your purpose. Stop waiting for the world to give you permission to move. This is your warning and your invitation at the same time. Because when the pressure hits, when the world goes dark, when everyone else panics, the prepared ones shine. The storm doesn't scare them because they've already built their strength in silence. They don't ask, oh, what now? Because they've already trained for what's next. This is your moment to become that person, the one who doesn't get ready because they've been ready all along. Stay ready because your time isn't coming. It's already here. Preparation is the real separation between winners and talkers. It's not about who says they want it. It's about who prepares for it when nobody's watching. Everyone talks about success, about grinding, about becoming great, but only a few are actually living it every single day when there's no applause, no validation, no recognition. See, preparation is what divides the ones who dream from the ones who deliver. It's the unseen grind, the quiet sacrifice, the invisible hours that make all the difference when the moment finally arrives. The people at the top didn't suddenly become great. They were just ready when their moment came. Because they spent years getting ready while everyone else was still talking about what they were going to do. The truth is, most people underestimate the power of preparation because it doesn't look glamorous. It doesn't look exciting to wake up before the sun and practice while the world is still asleep. It doesn't look impressive to study when nobody's asking you to. But that's the secret. Preparation is the work that happens when there's no audience. It's the rehearsal before the performance, the training before the fight, the sacrifice before the reward. Winners don't show up hoping they'll perform. They show up knowing they're ready because they've already done it 1,000 times when nobody was watching. When the pressure hits, when the lights turn on, when the opportunity arrives, they don't fold, they flow. People love to talk about luck, but luck favors the prepared. Luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. You can't control when your big break comes, but you can control whether you're ready for it. Some people say they never got their shot, but the truth is they did. They just weren't ready when it showed up. They missed their blessing because they thought they'd have time to prepare later. Winners, on the other hand, live every day as if the opportunity could come any second. They prepare in advance. They don't wait for the call. They stay in shape, stay sharp, stay hungry because they know the window of opportunity doesn't stay open for long. Preparation isn't about perfection. It's about readiness. You don't need to know every answer, but you need to be sharp enough to figure it out on the fly. You don't need every condition to be perfect. You just need to have trained your mind to adapt under pressure. When you prepare every single day, you build a reflex. You create a habit of excellence that becomes automatic. You don't have to think about being great. You just are, because it's what you conditioned yourself to be. That's the difference between winners and talkers. Talkers wait until the pressure hits to decide if they're ready. Winners have already been living ready. Ready? Think about the athlete who trains for months for a single game. The musician who practices the same note until it's flawless. The student who studies not for the test but for mastery. That's preparation. It's not about showing up on the day. It's about everything that happens before that day. Because when you prepare the right way, you don't panic when the moment comes. You don't question your ability. You don't second guess your worth. You stand tall, you move with confidence, and you deliver because you know you've earned your place there. Preparation is also about respect to your craft, your future, your potential. When you truly want something, you prepare for it, you honor it with effort. You don't wait until the last minute and hope it works out. You plan, you practice, you pour everything you have into being ready. Ready? That's how you show the universe you're serious, because life doesn't give greatness to people who are casual about it. It gives greatness to the ones who prepare like it's already theirs. But here's the hard truth. Preparation is lonely. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's not glamorous. While everyone else is out enjoying themselves, you're still grinding. While others are asleep, you're still working. That's why most people quit before they see results. They think preparation means instant reward, but it doesn't. Preparation is planting seeds you won't see grow for a long time. But when harvest season comes, it's those seeds that separate you from everyone else. The person who prepares wins in silence long before the world sees them win in public. There will be days you won't feel like it. There will be morning when your mind tells you to stay in bed. There will be moments when you wonder if all this preparation is even worth it. But you have to remind yourself, every rep, every hour, every sacrifice is building a version of you that will never have to scramble when opportunity knocks. You're not working for now, you're working for the moment that will define your life. The world will call it sudden success, but you'll know it wasn't sudden at all. It was earned, prepared for, and built brick by brick when nobody cared. If you want to be unstoppable, stay ready. Don't wait for the deadline. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for someone to push you. Be the kind of person who stays sharp no matter what. Winners don't warm up when the game starts. They're already in rhythm. You can't get ready when the lights turn on. You've got to stay ready before they ever shine on you. Preparation gives you peace. It gives you power. It makes you fearless because you've already faced the challenge in your mind long before it happens in real life. The world belongs to the prepared. The stage belongs to those who practice when no one was watching. The moment belongs to the one who stayed ready when everyone else was distracted. You can talk all day about what you're going to do, but the moment of truth will always reveal who prepared and who pretended. So don't just dream, train. Don't just plan, prepare. Don't just talk about success. Live like success could walk through the door today. Because when it does, you don't want to be the person trying to get ready. You want to be the person who can look at the moment and say, I've been ready for this my whole life. That's the power of preparation. It turns pressure into performance, chaos into clarity, and dreams into reality. Winners aren't born ready. They build readiness every single day. So while the world sleeps, you work. While others talk, you move. While others doubt, you prepare. Because when the time comes, and it will come, you'll be ready. And when you're ready, you don't chase opportunity. Opportunity chases you and me. Consistency is the difference between people who almost make it and those who actually do. Everybody wants to win when they feel motivated, when the music's playing, when the crowd is watching. But real greatness comes from what you do when the excitement fades. Staying ready isn't just about being prepared once. It's about being prepared every single day, no matter how you feel, no matter what the circumstances are. Consistency is the quiet power that compounds over time. It's doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has disappeared. Most people start strong, but very few finish. Why? Because consistency demands discipline, not motivation. It demands showing up when you don't want to, when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, when no one's clapping. Consistency doesn't care about how talented you are. It only respects repetition. You can have all the talent in the world, But if you can't show up every single day with the same focus and intensity, talent will lose to consistency every time. You can't sprint your way to success. You've got to endure your way there. Every day you skip is a day you lose. Every day you show up is a day you get closer. You can't cheat the grind. You can't fake daily effort. You either live consistent or you live average. It's that simple. Because life rewards rhythm, not randomness. You don't get strong by working out once a week. You don't become successful by working hard once a month. Success is built in the moments when it's easy to quit, but you refuse to. Most people think consistency means doing a lot. It doesn't. It means doing a little every day, but doing it without fail. Consistency is about building habits so strong they become a part of your identity. You don't ask yourself, should I do it today? You just do it because it's who you are. The great ones don't negotiate with their goals. They live in alignment with them. They wake up every day with a purpose. And even when that purpose doesn't feel exciting, they still honor it. Because consistency builds credibility with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. And every time you break one, you destroy it. The reason most people lose motivation is because they've broken so many promises to themselves that they don't even believe their own words anymore. Consistency is how you rebuild that trust. It's how you become someone who doesn't need external motivation to act. You don't wait for the perfect condition. You create your own momentum. When you stay consistent long enough, you stop chasing results and start chasing improvement. You stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with the person you were yesterday. And that's when growth becomes automatic. The process starts feeding itself. You wake up and do the work not because you have to, but because you can't imagine living any other way. Consistency also means learning how to adapt without losing focus. You're gonna have days when life hits you hard, when you're tired, when you fail, when nothing goes right. That's where most people lose it. They think consistency means perfection, and the moment they slip, they quit. But consistency isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. It's about having the mental toughness to reset and go again. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be persistent. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to show up again and again until showing up becomes your reflex. When you live consistently, something powerful happens. You start seeing progress even when you don't feel it. At first, it's invisible. You'll grind for weeks, months, maybe even years without seeing big results. But behind the scenes, the compound effect is working. Your habits are stacking. Your mind is sharpening. Your resilience is growing. Then one day you look back and you realize you transformed. The person who started is gone. The person who stayed is unstoppable. Consistency doesn't just change your results. It changes your identity. It turns I want to be into I. There's a dangerous trap most people fall into. They think consistency is boring. They crave excitement, variety, change. But the truth is, consistency creates freedom. When you discipline yourself to stay on track, you gain control over your life. You're not reacting to everything that happens. You're leading yourself with intention. The boring days are where your foundation is built. That repetition, that routine, that rhythm is not your enemy, it's your armor. The grind is not punishment, it's preparation. Every day you show up, you're making deposits in your future. Every rep, every hour, every effort, it's all accumulating, waiting for the day it pays off. People often say, I'll be consistent when I see results. But that's not how it works. You don't get results and then become consistent. You become consistent and then get results. You got to stay ready long before the reward shows up. You've got to trust the process when the results aren't visible. You've got to keep walking when the path feels endless, because consistency will always outlast emotion. It's not about how you feel. It's about what you do regardless of how you feel. Feelings are temporary, but habits are permanent. If you build consistency around your values instead of your emotions, you'll never lose your direction again. Every champion you admire, every success story you've ever heard, every legend you look up to, there's one common thread: consistency. They didn't wake up great. They became great through repetition, through relentless dedication, through doing the small things that nobody saw. While everyone else was chasing shortcuts, they were mastering the basics. While everyone else was talking about change, they were living it daily. You can't fake that. Consistency is the most honest form of commitment. It doesn't need words, it needs action. So if you want to stay ready, you've got to be consistent when it's hard, when it's dull, when no one's watching. You've got to keep showing up for your goals even when your motivation disappears. Because that's when your character is tested. That's when greatness is forged. Anyone can work when it's easy, but true warriors grind when it's tough. They train in the dark so they can shine in the light. They practice when no one's clapping so they can perform when everyone's watching. Consistency is your weapon against chaos. It's your shield against doubt. It's your foundation when everything else falls apart. When you're consistent, you're dangerous because no matter how hard life hits you, you'll always find your rhythm again. You'll always return stronger because staying ready isn't about hype. It's about habits. And consistency is the heartbeat of every great habit. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect time. Make consistency your default mode. Make showing up your identity every single day. Do something, no matter how small, that moves you closer to your vision. Because if you stay consistent long enough, you won't need to get ready when your moment comes. You'll already be living ready. And that's when you become unstoppable. Discipline is the foundation of everything you want in life. It's the bridge between goals and accomplishment, between dreams and reality. You can have all the passion in the world, all the ambition, all the motivation. But if you don't have discipline, you'll never make it past the first wave of resistance. Motivation fades, feelings change, energy runs out, but discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline demands you move no matter what. It's what separates the ones who talk about what they want from the ones who actually go out and take it. Discipline doesn't care about your excuses, your comfort, or your circumstances. It only respects action. You don't get what you want by waiting for the perfect moment. You get it by creating the moment through discipline. Every day you wake up, you're faced with a choice. Comfort or discipline. Choice. Most people choose comfort. They hit snooze. They procrastinate. They talk themselves out of doing what they know they should. But the truth is, comfort kills potential. Every time you choose what's easy, you weaken your character. Every time you avoid the hard thing, you teach your brain that it's okay to quit. Discipline, on the other hand, does the opposite. It strengthens you. It builds your willpower like a muscle. It rewires your brain to associate effort with growth instead of pain. When you stay disciplined long enough, you stop needing motivation because action becomes automatic. You don't negotiate with laziness anymore. You command yourself to move. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about alignment. It's about doing what aligns with your purpose, even when your emotions are screaming otherwise. Most people think discipline is restrictive, but it's the opposite. It's freedom. Because when you're disciplined, you control your choices instead of your impulses controlling you. You're no longer a slave to distractions, comfort, or doubt. You become the master of your time, your body, your focus. And when you reach that level of control, nothing can stop you. Because while others are reacting to life, you're directing. You're not moved by how you feel. You're moved by what you've committed to. The real test of discipline comes in silence, when no one's watching, when there's no praise, no recognition, no reward, just you in the grind. That's where most people quit, but that's also where the elite are born. Discipline means showing up on the days when your body aches, when your mind is tired, when your spirit feels empty. It's showing up when nobody would blame you for quitting. Because you understand that discipline isn't about doing it when it's convenient. It's about doing it because it's necessary. You don't train only when you feel good. You train because you said you would. You don't study only when it's easy. You study because the goal demands it. You don't work only when you're inspired. You work because your dream depends on it. There's a war that happens in your mind every single day. A war between comfort and commitment. Between the version of you that wants to stay safe and the version of you that wants to grow. Discipline is how you win that war. It's how you silence the voice that says, take it easy. It's how you push past the fatigue, past the frustration. Discipline doesn't remove the struggle. It transforms it. You have to create a structure so strong that no emotion, no failure, no setback can knock you off your path. You have to train your mind to obey your vision, not your comfort. Every day you have to wake up and demand greatness from yourself. Not sometimes, but always. Because when you master discipline, you master life. Discipline is the quiet force that turns dreams into reality, ideas into action, and potential into performance. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's powerful. It's what allows you to be ready at all times, to strike when the opportunity arrives. Because when you live discipline, you don't have to get ready. You already are. You're locked in, focused, sharp, and dangerous. That's the power of discipline. It's not just a practice, it's a mindset. And once you've built it, nothing can stop you. Preparation is not a task, it's a mentality. It's not something you do only when opportunity knocks. It's something you live by when the world is silent, when no one's watching, when it feels like nothing's moving. Because the truth is, life doesn't wait for you to get ready. It rewards those who are ready. The people who win in this world aren't necessarily the most talented, the strongest, or the smartest. They're the ones who prepare when everyone else was sleeping on their potential. They trained for moments that didn't even exist yet. They built their skill when no opportunity was in sight. They stayed sharp, stayed disciplined, stayed hungry. So when the door finally opened, they didn't walk through it uncertain. They owned it. Yeah. You see, the biggest mistake people make is assuming they'll have time later. When I get the job, I'll start working harder. When I get my big break, I'll start showing up earlier. When I get a chance, I'll give it my all. If you wait until you get the chance to start preparing, it's already too late. The world doesn't hand out invitations to success. It gives sudden tests. One moment you're living your normal life. The next, you're standing in front of the biggest opportunity of your life. And the question is, are you ready now? Most people fumble not because they aren't good enough, but because they weren't ready when it mattered. They had the potential, but not the preparation. They had the dream, but not the discipline to prepare for it every single day like it was already here. Preparation is the ultimate confidence. When you stay ready, you don't panic. You don't freeze. You don't beg for another chance. You move with certainty. You walk into rooms like you belong there, not out of arrogance, but because you've already done the work behind closed doors. You've already fought the battles in silence. You've already rehearsed your response to pressure. And that's what separates the average from the unstoppable. The average react, the unstoppable anticipate. The average need time to adjust. The unstoppable have already adjusted. That's what stay ready means. It means you train for the future as if it's already arrived. Every day you wake up, you have two choices. You can live like you're waiting for something to happen, or you can live like something is already happening. You can keep telling yourself of someday, or you can prepare like today is the day. The truth is, success doesn't send a calendar invite. It just shows up. The job interview you didn't expect, the investor that randomly calls, the opportunity that suddenly appears after months of silence. And when that happens, it's not about luck, it's about readiness. The world might call it luck, but those who've been preparing know it's not luck at all. It's alignment. It's the universe rewarding those who were disciplined enough to be ready long before it was convenient. Look at every great athlete, every leader, every high performer. They all have one thing in common. They stay ready. They don't just perform under lights. They prepare when no one is clapping. They don't rise to the occasion. They sink to their level of preparation. That's why they're consistent. That's why they win again and again. Because while others were relaxing, they were sharpening. While others were saying, I'll start tomorrow, they were saying, I'm staying ready today. And that mindset creates an unshakable edge. Because when you live like that, there's no such thing as surprise. You're always ready for the storm, always ready for the spotlight, always ready for the next level. Preparation builds self-respect. You can't fake the confidence that comes from knowing you've done the work. It's not ego, it's peace. It's that calm fire inside you that says, I'm not worried about what's coming because I'm built for it. That peace only comes from showing up daily, even when there's no external reward. That's why lazy preparation creates anxious people. They're always nervous because deep down, they know they're not ready. But those who've prepared sleep differently. They wake up with focus. They walk with a different rhythm. They don't flinch when pressure hits because they already prepared for pressure when nobody cared. That's the power of staying ready. It makes you untouchable in a world full of people scrambling to get ready at the last second. And the best part, staying ready isn't about being perfect. It's about being proactive. It's about recognizing that your future is built on what you do right now. You don't wait to get motivated. You discipline yourself to move even when you don't feel like it. You don't wait for clarity. You create it through action. You create it through action. You don't wait for opportunity. You prepare for it relentlessly until it can't ignore you anymore. Because opportunity doesn't look for the best. It looks for the most prepared. So ask yourself right now, if the opportunity you've been dreaming about showed up today, would you be ready to handle it? Not wish you were, not hope you could, but truly ready. Would your habits match your dreams? Would your mindset be aligned with your goals? Would your work ethic prove your hunger? Because if not, it's time to stop waiting and start preparing. Stop assuming there will be another chance. This might be the one. And when you live like that, every day becomes preparation day. Every moment becomes fuel. Every struggle becomes training. Because when you stay ready, you don't chase chances, you create them. You don't wait for doors. You kick them open. You don't pray for an easy path. You prepare for a hard one. That's how you rise. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you turn potential into power. The moment you decide to stay ready, you take control of your destiny. And from that moment on, you'll never have to get ready again because you already are. Pressure doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. It shows you what you built, what you practiced, what you believed, and what you've avoided. When life applies pressure, when everything around you starts shaking, that's not the time to run. It's the time to realize what's been inside you all along. You can't claim to be ready if you crumble the moment life tests you. Because being ready isn't about being confident when everything's perfect. It's about staying composed when everything's on fire. It's about standing firm when doubt whispers that you should quit. It's about holding your ground when the storm comes for your mind, your focus, your belief. That's when we find out who's been preparing and who's been pretending. See, pressure is not your enemy. It's your measure. It's the moment when all that quiet work, all those unseen hours, all that private discipline finally gets called to the stage. You can't fake preparation when the lights come on. You either built yourself for this or you didn't. And the truth is, most people break under pressure because they never practice under it. They live soft lives, chasing comfort, waiting for opportunities to come easy. But life doesn't work like that. Pressure is the tuition you pay for greatness. You can't demand success if you're not willing to stand tall when the weight hits. Because every dream, every goal, every victory you want will come wrapped in pressure. And if you can't handle the pressure, you'll never hold the prize. The difference between winners and quitters isn't talent, it's tolerance. Winners have a higher pain tolerance. They can handle more chaos, more uncertainty, more weight without folding. Because they trained for it. They didn't just build muscles, they built emotional endurance. They didn't just prepare their skills, they prepared their minds. They learned to breathe under pressure instead of break. They learned to see difficulty as proof that they're in the right place, that they're growing, that they're elevating. They don't complain about the weight. They thank you for making them stronger because deep down they understand this truth. If it's heavy, it's helping. If it's uncomfortable, it's shaping you. If it's painful, it's positioning you for something greater. Pressure makes diamonds, but only if you let it. If you resist it, you stay a lump of coal. If you accept it, you evolve into something rare, something valuable, something unbreakable. But that transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens through choice. You choose to see pressure differently. You choose to lean into it instead of running from it. You choose to train your mind to say, this is where I grow, instead of this is where I give up. Because most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they panic when things get hard. They lose focus when life gets real. But the prepared, the hungry, the relentless, they rise when it's hard. They breathe when others suffocate. They think clearly when others freeze. That's what staying ready does. It trains you to perform under pressure. There's a saying, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. That's the truth most people ignore. When the heat turns up, you don't suddenly become better, you become whatever you've consistently trained to be. If you've been cutting corners, that'll show. If you've been lazy, that'll show. If you've been consistent, that'll shine. Pressure exposes preparation. It's not there to punish you. It's there to show you where you're weak so you can strengthen it. Every time you face pressure, it's an invitation to level up. But instead of accepting it, most people run back to comfort, back to easy, back to mediocrity. That's why their lives never change. Because the moment life asks them to grow, they retreat. Pressure is not the problem. your response to it is. You can't pray for blessings and then complain about the pressure that builds the strength to handle them. You can't ask for greatness and then refuse the grind that comes with it. If you want big results, you have to embrace big pressure. You have to welcome it like an old friend because it's there to teach you. Every great story you admire was written under pressure. People who had every reason to quit, every reason to give up, but did it. They decided that pressure wasn't going to define them. It was going to refine them. You have to start seeing pressure as proof that you're on the right path. The moment things get tough, it's not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're close. It's life testing your readiness. It's the universe asking, how bad do you really want this? Tank Buddy can talk about being ready when things are easy, but it's the ones who can stay calm in chaos that rise to the top. Because when you can perform under pressure, when you can stay locked in, despite the noise, when you can still execute, even when your emotions are screaming at you to quit, that's when you become unstoppable. And here's the secret. Pressure never goes away. It just changes form. The higher you climb, the heavier the load. The question isn't a when will it stop? It's a will I grow strong enough to carry more? Because the higher the level, the greater the weight. That's why you need to stay ready, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Because if you can't handle pressure at your current level, you'll never survive at the next one. You can't demand success if you haven't mastered struggle. You can't handle freedom if you can't handle freedom, if you can't handle frustration. So stop running from pressure. Learn to breathe through it. Learn to move with it. Learn to thrive in it. The truth is, pressure isn't the enemy of success. It's the pathway to it. It's not there to break you. It's there to make you prove that you belong where you say you want to go. It's there to separate the committed from the comfortable, the serious from the seasonal, the prepared from the pretenders. When you stay ready, you stop fearing pressure because you know you've already faced it in training. You've already been through the grind, the doubt, the late nights. You've already built calluses on your mind. So when pressure comes knocking, you don't crumble, you smile. You know this is your moment. You know this is what you've been building for. So from this point on, stop asking for an easier life. Start demanding more strength. Stop wishing for fewer problems. Wish for more power. Stop fearing pressure. Embrace it. Because pressure doesn't make you weak. It exposes your strength. And when you live by that mindset, when you truly internalize it, you stop running from difficulty. You start chasing it. You start seeing every challenge as a chance to sharpen yourself, to test your preparation, to prove your purpose. Because those who master pressure don't just survive, they dominate. And that's what staying ready is all about. Not waiting for comfort, not waiting for calm, but being so prepared, so conditioned, so focused that when the world throws its weight at you, you don't bend. You don't bend, you don't break, you rise. Consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. Everybody talks about goals, dreams, and ambition, but very few live them daily with relentless consistency. Most people want success to come in a flash, but the truth is, it's built one disciplined day at a time. Success doesn't arrive in a single breakthrough moment. It's forged through thousands of ordinary days, stacked on top of each other with extraordinary effort. The grind isn't glamorous. It's repetition, it's routine, it's doing the work when the excitement has died and no one's watching. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who fade away is not talent or luck. It's consistency. The ones who stay ready are the ones who never stop showing up, even when it's not convenient, even when it's not comfortable, even when no one is clapping. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means discipline in the face of distraction. It means keeping your standard when life tries to lower it. It means honoring your commitment to your vision every single day, no matter how you feel. Feelings are temporary, but discipline builds permanence. Now, the world doesn't care how motivated you are today. It cares whether you can show up when the motivation is gone. Because consistency is about systems, not sparks. It's about principles, not moods. Anyone can get fired up for a week, but only the relentless can stay locked in for a lifetime. That's why the phrase to stay ready matters. Because if you stay ready, you don't rely on emotion, you rely on structure. You don't chase motivation, you live by momentum. See, the secret to staying ready is not to wait for the perfect moment. It's to make every moment perfect through repetition and focus. Every day you choose to put in work, even when you don't feel like it. You're reinforcing your identity. You're telling your mind, this is who I am. This is what I do. You don't need to hype yourself up when the discipline is already part of you. That's the power of consistency. It rewires your identity. You no longer see the grind as something you have to do. It becomes who you are. You start moving from effort to instinct, from reaction to rhythm. The more consistent you are, the less resistance you face, because your body and mind start aligning around one truth. There is no other way but forward. The problem is that most people live in cycles. They go hard for a few days, then disappear. They talk about goals, they dream about change, but they never build the habits to sustain it. And that's why they keep starting over. They keep waiting for their right time to begin, not realizing that the right time was every single day they wasted waiting. If you stay consistent, you eliminate the need to restart. Every small step compound. Every repetition becomes a deposit in the bank of mastery. Every day of consistency buys you freedom, but inconsistency keeps you broke. Broken focus, broken faith, broken progress. The grind doesn't stop because you feel tired. The grind continues because your future deserves more than your excuses. Consistency is not just physical, it's mental warfare. It's the daily battle between the voice that says, take it easy, and the one that says, get it done. The first voice seeks comfort, the second voice seeks greatness. You can't listen to both. You must silence one and obey the other. The truth is, success doesn't belong to the motivated. It belongs to the consistent. Motivation fades, but consistency compounds. And the moment you choose consistency over comfort, everything in your life begins to change. You stop waiting for signs, you stop depending on energy, and you start building habits that run even when you don't feel like running. That's when you become unstoppable, when you stop needing to be inspired and start being disciplined. You've got to understand consistency is the highest form of readiness, because when you stay consistent, you're always ready to execute. You don't have to warm up. You don't have to psych yourself out. You don't have to get back in rhythm. You are the rhythm. You've trained so long and so hard that the standards become second nature. People who lack consistency are always chasing readiness. People who live in discipline are readiness. And that's why when opportunity arrives, only a few can grab it. They've been preparing every single day while everyone else was making excuses. They didn't need to get ready because they never stopped being ready. Think of consistency like a muscle. It grows when you train it. It weakens when you neglect it. Every time you choose to show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're strengthening it. Every time you skip out, you're telling your body and mind that mediocrity is acceptable. You can't expect to build an unshakable mindset on unstable habits. If your grind is only active when you feel good, your success will only last until you don't. True consistency is built on principle, on doing what needs to be done regardless of circumstance. You train, you study, you grind, you focus, not because it's easy, but because it's required. The truth about consistency is this: it's boring before it becomes brilliant. It's quiet before it becomes loud. It's lonely before it becomes legendary. Most people can't handle that silence. They want instant validation. They want fast results, but real growth doesn't announce itself. It accumulates. You won't notice it day by day, but one morning you'll wake up and realize that you've become someone unstoppable. You'll realize that all those small, disciplined days have built something permanent inside you. You'll look back and see that while others quit, you kept going. And that's why you won. Because consistency is undefeated. It outlasts talent, outlasts luck, outlasts motivation, outlasts hype. It's the one thing that will carry you when nothing else does. And here's the truth. Consistency builds credibility, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep your word, you build trust in your own ability. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your belief that you can. And belief is the foundation of all success. The people who fail aren't those who lack skill. They're those who stop believing in their ability to execute. Consistency fixes that. It teaches your brain that you are dependable, that your word means something, that your actions follow your intentions. When you live like that, you stop talking about success. You start embodying it. You stop saying, I'll try, and start saying, I will. So if you want to stay ready, commit to consistency. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it daily. Build a rhythm that keeps you locked in, even when life tries to pull you off track. It's not about how fast you move. It's about how long you can stay in motion. Because consistency isn't measured by bursts of greatness. It's measured by sustained effort. When you're consistent, you turn potential into power. You turn habits into history. You turn effort into ex-legends are made. Not by what they do once, but by what they do every single day without fail. At the end of the day, staying ready means staying consistent. It means living in such alignment with your purpose that nothing can pull you out of it. Not fatigue, not frustration, not fear. It's waking up every day with the same fire, the same focus, the same standard. Because consistency isn't just what you do, it's who you become. And when that becomes your identity, success doesn't surprise you. You expect it, you've earned it, you've built it brick by brick, day after day, without shortcuts, without excuses, without stopping. That's the real meaning of staying ready. You live in preparation. So when life calls your name, you don't have to prepare, you just perform. Being ready for opportunity isn't just about preparation. It's about execution. It's about acting when the moment arrives instead of hesitating. Most people miss their moment, not because they weren't capable, but because they were uncertain. They second-guessed themselves. They paused to think instead of stepping into motion. They waited for permission when life was screaming for action. The truth is, the window for greatness opens and closes faster than you think. You either move when the door cracks open or you watch it close forever. Execution is what separates dreamers from doers, planners from producers, talkers from winners. The grind means nothing if you can't act when it matters. You can study, you can train, you can prepare for years, but if you freeze in the moment of truth, all that effort goes to waste. Readiness means nothing without execution. You got to train your mind to move on instinct when your opportunity comes. If you stay ready, that moment won't scare you, it'll excite you. You won't question whether you're capable because you'll know you've already been through the fire. You've done the reps, you've endured the pain, you've built the muscle. When the moment comes, you won't need to rise to the occasion. You'll simply reveal your preparation. But that's where most people fall. They think success will announce itself with a clear sign, a perfect setup, a comfortable start. It doesn't. Opportunity doesn't come with a label saying this is it. It arrives disguised as pressure, responsibility, or risk. Those who hesitate miss it. Those who execute own it. Execution is about trust, trust in yourself, trust in your grind, trust in your process. It's about understanding that you've already paid the price in private, and now it's time to collect in public. Too many people get caught in the loop of overthinking. They want everything to make sense before they act. But life doesn't reward the ones who wait for clarity. It rewards the ones who create clarity through action. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to move. You refine along the way. Execution isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's better to move messy than to sit still with plans that never leave your head. Every great success story started with a decision to act, not a guarantee of outcome. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of something you were ready for? How many chances have you lost because you hesitated, waiting for the right time, the right resources, or the right feeling? That's how opportunity slips through your fingers. You can't stay stuck in your head and expect results in your life. The only way to win is to act, to leap, to trust your training. Because you can only grow through experience, not theory. Action teaches faster than analysis ever will. You've got to stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be present. The moment you're in is the one that counts. If you keep waiting for everything to be ideal, you'll never move. The stars don't align, you do. Execution also requires courage. It takes guts to act when uncertainty is staring you down. It takes confidence to walk into a room where the odds are against you and still perform like you belong there. But that's what being ready means. You've already built the inner strength to face any situation. You've already rehearsed resilience. You've already practiced pressure. When you stay ready, fear doesn't paralyze you. It powers you. You channel it into focus. You use it as fuel. The truth is, the most dangerous people in the world are the ones who can execute under pressure. They don't crumble when the lights come on. They come alive. They don't need a guarantee. They create one through performance. But understand this, execution doesn't just happen when the big opportunity arrives. It's built in the small moments nobody sees. It's built in how you handle your daily responsibilities, how you treat your discipline, how you respond to challenges. Execution is a habit before it's an event. If you don't practice showing up when it doesn't matter, you won't show up when it does. Every day you execute your plan. Every time you deliver on your word, you're sharpening your blade. So when the time comes, you don't have to wonder if you're ready. You'll already be cutting through every obstacle. That's why staying ready isn't passive, it's active. It's living with intention so that when the call comes, you don't hesitate. You strike. The world doesn't slow down for indecision. Opportunities don't wait for you to get in the mood. The ones who win are those who can pivot fast, adapt faster, and execute immediately. You might only get one shot, one chance, one door, and when that door opens, it's not going to stay open forever. You got to walk through it, even if you're scared, because action will always conquer fear. Every second you delay is a second someone else is using to win. Execution is about momentum, about catching the wave when it rises, not after it's gone. It's about saying, I'm ready, and proving it through motion. Let's be real. Execution requires sacrifice. It means less talking and more doing. It means late nights, early mornings, and constant adjustment. It means showing up when you're tired, frustrated, or uncertain. But the moment you execute, everything changes. The world doesn't remember the one who planned. It remembers the one who performed. You don't build a legacy on preparation. You build it on execution. You don't gain respect from what you could do. You gain it from what you did. The grind you put in means nothing if it never leaves your imagination. You've got to bring it to life through consistent action. Execution is also about ownership. It's standing behind every result, good or bad, and saying, this is mine. You can't blame circumstances. You can't hide behind excuses. When you execute, you take full responsibility. You own your performance, your timing, your outcome. And that level of accountability breeds excellence. When you stop blaming and start owning, you force yourself to grow. You stop waiting for help, for approval, for ideal conditions. You start building your own way forward. That's what the greats do. They act, they execute. They make things happen while others make reasons. To execute effectively, you've got to keep your vision alive every single day. You've got to remember why you started and what's at stake. Because without a strong why, execution feels like effort. With it, it feels like purpose. Your reason fuels your reaction. Your focus directs your fire. The moment you connect your actions to your mission, you stop hesitating and start dominating. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start saying, what if I win? That shift in energy changes everything. Execution becomes second nature because your belief drives your behavior. At the end of the day, execution is the ultimate proof of readiness. Anybody can say they're ready. Only a few can show it. Talk fades, excuses fade, potential fades, but results don't lie. Results expose your preparation, your mindset, and your discipline. The grind never stops because opportunity never stops moving. If you want to win, you can't wait to get ready. You gotta live ready. You gotta act fast, execute hard, and adjust later. You've got to trust that the work you've done has prepared you for the moment you're in. Because when your time comes, it will come, you won't have time to think. You'll only have time to act. And those who act are the ones who rise. In the end, life doesn't reward the ones who get ready when it's convenient. It rewards the ones who stay ready when it's hard. The ones who train when no one's watching. The ones who grind when there's no applause. The ones who keep their sword sharp even when there's no war in sight. Because here's the truth. Opportunities don't come with a warning label. They don't knock politely. They crash into your life out of nowhere. And the question will always be, were you ready? Most people pray for their moment, but they're not prepared for it. They want the stage, but not the discipline. They want success, but not the structure. They want the spotlight, but not the sacrifice. But when you live in a state of readiness, mentally, physically, emotionally, you stop waiting for life to give you something, and you start taking what you've already earned. You can't afford to live unprepared. Every single day that you wake up without a purpose, without pushing yourself, without sharpening your mind, you're falling behind. Somebody out there, hungrier, sharper, more focused, is getting ready right now. They're putting in the reps you're skipping. They're reading the books you're too tired to read. They're mastering the skills you keep saying you'll start tomorrow. And when that door opens, they'll walk through it while you're still looking for your shoes. That's what happens when you live reactive instead of ready. Readiness is a lifestyle. It's not about waiting for the right time. It's about being in position before the time arrives. It's about waking up every day with the mindset that anything can happen. And if it does, you'll be ready for it. See, life doesn't pause for you to catch up. The world doesn't stop because you need a minute to prepare. It moves fast. It tests you when you least expect it. And if you're not built for that, if your habits, your mindset, your discipline aren't already aligned, you'll get left behind. Staying ready means living with a sense of urgency. It means understanding that your next big opportunity might come disguised as a challenge. It means preparing for blessings the same way you prepare for battles, with grit, focus, and consistency. When you stay ready, you stop being scared of change because you know you can handle anything. You stop depending on motivation because discipline becomes your rhythm. You stop chasing confidence because preparation gives you peace. So from this moment forward, make a promise to yourself. Never get caught off guard again. Never let life find you unprepared. When your name is called, you better be ready to stand tall and deliver. When opportunity shows up, it should find you in motion, not making excuses. Every single day you breathe, treat it like a training ground. Sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline, prepare your soul, because when you live ready, you don't chase success, you attract it. You don't wait for the moment, you become the moment. And when your time finally comes, and it will, you'll look the world in the eye and say, I've been ready. That's when the world moves out of your way. That's when everything you've prepared for becomes yours. Stay ready, because your moment is coming. And when it does, you better not have to get ready.